Guys got him bigger than 5 to 9.
Hello racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the Wednesday races at Hastings, August 29th program. 8 races on tap, start at 3:20 this afternoon today, so it should be a lot of fun. A little bit of cloud cover, but the track should still be fast, of course.
Yeah, it'd be fast, but with that little bit of cloud cover, they're able to water properly. I bet you get a real fair, proper track.
Everybody speed bias.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a lot of speed bias tracks this year, but I think that's starting to come to an end. And like I say, a little cloud cover should help. Jump right into it. Fillies and Mares.
First race.
First race. Fillies and Mares, non-3, 3,000, going 6.5 furlongs. Interesting group of 3-year-olds and older mares here. I've gone to a 3-year-old actually in the field, number 2, Thimble, out of the Dino Conolinios barn. Dino's rolling right now. The last probably month, his horse has really been running. He's really been on fire. This one's taken a big plunge, been run for 17.5, then for 12.5. Now it's in for the 3, non-3. It is running against older mares, but it does fit the condition nicely. So I've gone to Thimble. The second horse, I went to the 3, Alan May's charge in here. Alan May brought this one out from Alberta, where he had a lot of success. He bought it privately off budget in California, took it to Alberta, broke its maiden, second for non-2, 7,500, then win the non-2, 7,500. Here for 3,000 non-3. I think she fits pretty snugly into that spot. And in third spot, I took probably your likely favorite, Amadeo Perez and Pete Gregory team up on the 6, BMT. She's been knocking on the door in these all year. Just hasn't quite been able to break through at this level, but I think she's got a good shot today. I have her in third, so it's 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of older mares in these kind of races. Yeah. I don't really like taking the 3-year-olds. I try and stay away from them, especially if they're short.
They are kind of against it, yeah.
I went to the 4-horse Snowbird Pass. I think I'll go a little different. I think those races against 3,000 non-winners were way tougher than this 3,000 non-3. Yeah. You'll note, did lose to Mass Flora, who that was her 4th win, and prior to that she lost to Remarkably Free. That was her 7th career win. Yeah. So those are nice mares. You're hoping,
different conditions.
I mean, not great mares, but still they're tough mares. And these are restricted horses that have only won twice in their life. So I know there's other speed in here, but I think maybe even if she has to go pretty fast, she might be able to last. Once again, the 5, Terra Bunal is scratched in this race. The 5, Terra Bunal is out. I put the 8, 5-yard penalty, 3-year-old filly in for second, just because of her running style. So I think if Thimble goes, What's Up Betty, Snowbird Pass, and Fools Never Know, there could be it's going to be a lively race. And perhaps one of the better closers might be 5-yard penalty. Got on the board with a nice win, and I know it was against easier company, considerably easier company, but still it was a good win nonetheless. And I put the 6 BMT in for third. Like as you mentioned, probably your favorite. Keeps running into the second spot. The closing okay, but just not, really zipping by. I've left Thimble off the ticket. That might be a mistake. But once again, all those races she's been running against have been straight 3-year-olds, and she's getting in against some older mares. Same for the 3, What's Up Betty. Both of her wins this year have been against straight 3s. So they get a little class test against 4 and 5-year-olds, and we'll see how that works out. But I went 4, 8, and 6 in the Wednesday opener. On to the second race, $5,000 Fillies and Mares going 6.5 furlongs. Got a field of 9. See a bit of speed in here, but I think the 8 Perfect Hostess can clear and get out there. Maybe not clear, but at least get into the 2 path and be pretty dangerous. She's gone 21 and change, or 22 flat type of fractions before and almost lasted. Yeah. So I'll say Pedro Alvarado, hopefully going to win the daily double. I put the 2 Dream in the Dark in for second. I think she's going to get the good trip in behind the speed. If the speed does falter in the last 1/8 of a mile, I think Dream in the Dark will be the one benefiting. She was a good second. Actually, her last 2 runs, she's run into Maida Vale, who's just a streaking filly that's running extremely well. And nice to see Maida Vale not in this race for the Dream in the Dark camp. But I like her. And I put the 6 BC Cat. She's likely going to be heavily backed, but she's a mare that hasn't won in 3 years. I'll go back to 2010 for a win. So you got to be careful on taking short prices on horses that seem to look tempting, but just don't win, and for circumstances seem to get them. But she continues to run good races, so I put her in for third. I went 8, 2, and 6 in the second.
This was one of those races where I was looking at our picks. This is one where totally different than you. Not even any of the same horses. I think it's going to be a lot of yeah. We got a little variety.
I'm all confused.
I see a lot of speed in here with Dynalite, Perfect Hostess, JJ's Orchid, BC Cat. I think it's going to be pretty hot up front. So I went with a horse that 2 back made a nice closing move, was Remarkably Free. Gilker and Amadeo are having a really good year together. Then she jumped up. That was the non-winners of the year for 3. Then she jumped up in the non-winners of the year for 5 category. That initial jump up, she only got beat a couple lengths by Anna Dew and BC Cat and some of these. But I think now with that was only her second start of the year. Now her third start, second time facing the $5,000 mare. She should be tough. I have her on top. The second spot I put Dynalite. Filly in here that Jim Brown just claimed off Terry Clyde. Jim Brown is 38% off the claim. He's having a really good year. Him and Reyes have been on fire together. She's probably going to be part of that pace scenario, but I'm looking for, of those pace horses, I think maybe she's the one that can hang on. Probably a mistake leaving Perfect Hostess out. In the third spot, I took another horse that 2 back in the non-3, $3,000 level, made a big move too, was Mass Flora, the Robbie Anderson charge in here. Robbie's having a very good year too, and same thing, the $3,000 a year made a really nice move, win by 4. First time against the non-winners of the year for 5 this year, she kind of struggled a bit. I think her second start with that win below her, she improved. So I went 9, 3, and 7.
Basically, it's a pretty tough second race. So go
it
deep,
is, yeah.
Leg of the win.
There's lots of ways to look at it.
It's a tough race.
That was one. Yeah, that was one I mentioned to you. I had a lot of different ways to go. This is another one here. The third race, 3,000 non-2 of the year for older colts and geldings, and I went to the one. Now Act out of Levanaway barn. Another good connection. William Levanaway, Amadeo Perez have been red hot all year long. This horse fits really nicely in here. He's dropping. He's been running, knock on the door in the non-winners of the year 5 level. Drops to the non-winners of the year for 3. I think he's right in the mix. The second spot, I took a bit of a flyer on a horse that I picked earlier this year and got at some price on, Out of the Clouds. He's taken a drop down to getting a little bit stronger rider in Fernando Perez. So Marlo Dunn takes another call. He's a good closing horse. He's I like the way he's kind of coming in the race. 37-1 that last
little blowout.
Blowout for him. I've always kind of liked this horse. I think today he's going to be tough. I had a lot of problems in this race just trying to find even a third horse that I liked. I ended up going with Slickster. Pat Jarvis is another one, been on fire lately. This horse, one of the non-3 level, non-winners of the year for 3 level, I should say. Went to the 5, was a little too much. Swiss Arrogant, Arkhill, Muscle in the Closet. It was a tough race. That today, Swiss Arrogant went in 16-2. Nothing like that's going to happen in here today, so I put Slickster in for 3rd.
Yeah, I see things exactly the same way in this race. I've gone 1, 6, and 8 as well, and it's a good thing you need a key in this early pick 4, whatever wagers you're going to play, because it's a little expensive with the first couple.
Yeah, it might be.
But I like Now Act. This horse missed the break slightly, was hung 4 deep early. Still managed, was right there turning for home. That was a good 5th behind Swiss Arrogant. The trip was brutal. If you go 2 back, that was a good run behind Bosco's Quick and a good time. All he needs to do is repeat that kind of race, and he's going to win the money. A lot better post today as well. So I definitely like the 1 Now Act, and I agree with the 6 Out of the Clouds. I think this horse is going to make a good run from off the pace. And the 8 horse Slickster had a tough trip also in that same Swiss Arrogant race. In between horses the whole race, give him another shot as well as he moves to the outside. He certainly won't be in between horses this time. A little intimidating last time, but I agree with you, 1, 6, and 8. On to the 4th race. Got some $3,000 maidens here, fillies and mares. Scratch the 10, final curtain call. I've gone to the 5-star Whacker. Really not a strong pick, but it looks like the best on paper. Good runner-up effort in 118 and change. That's enough for me for maiden $3,000. That was at the maiden 5 level. Takes a slight little drop. A lot of those races are kind of the same, the 3s and the 5s. But Star Whacker and looks great in this spot. I put the 9 Alusha in for 2nd. She had a brutal trip last time, was 4 wide the entire race. Still managed to run 4th, lost 2nd to Majestic Woman and Final Curtain Call. They finished 2nd and 3rd ahead of her, but it was just a trip. She ran a better race than those 2 fillies, and I think she'll get a little bit better trip with leading rider Amadeo Perez on. And I put the 2 horse Starabella, just the 1 run, got narrowly defeated in deep stretch by Neskowin in a 3.5 furlong race. Has to stretch out, just has the 1 slow work, but I'm going to give her a shot. At least she's one that's only started once. A lot of these other horses have had 8, 9, 10 starts throughout their career and haven't won. So she's lightly raced, and I don't mind Fernando aboard either. So I went 5, 9, and 2.
I agree with the 5. Looks really strong in here, I think. Just those 2 runner-up efforts for 3, then back for 5, now back for 3. I think it's graduation day for Star Whacker. I put Starabella, the Greg Tracy horse, in the 2nd spot here. Greg's very capable horseman. I do like you said, the horse had the out, ran 2nd. It was 3.5. Not a big move out to 6.5. She's got a race in her, so I think she's definitely could be dangerous in here. And in 3rd spot, I put Sister L, one that a filly that hasn't had a whole lot of luck this year. She was trying the maiden 5 level. Now she drops to maiden 3. Gets Richard Hamill.
No blinkers too. Blinkers off, and the equipment change too, which may
blinkers off.
A little tweak. Maybe it'll help. Maybe
it could help a little bit. So
try something different.
Exactly. She's one that probably could have won a couple of these races this year. Always seems to have bad luck. So I put her in for third. 5, 2, and 1 for me. And on to the fifth. 3-year-olds and up who have not run first, second, or third at the meet. And I've gone to the 6, Mr. Instigator in here out of the Troy Taylor barn. Probably should have won this race last time. Just had some bad luck against the Drexel Hurry On Home. In that race, he maybe he's going a little quick for these kind of horses, and just everything didn't really fall his way. I think he gets a better, if he gets a little bit better pace today, I think he could be dangerous. I went him on top. The second spot, I put the horse that beat him last time, Hurry On Home, out of the Rob Maben barn. Amadeo Perez sticks with, just got beat a length last time by Drexel. He's definitely one to keep an eye on here. And in the third spot, I put a horse that, the one horse, Smarty Fawcett of the Terry Clyde barn, who's been running in the non-winners of the year for 5 all year long. Dropping into this category is quite a bit softer. So he's one to keep an eye on. Marlo Dunn's on, so you get £5. 6, 11, and 1 for me.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind the one. I didn't pick the one in the top 3, but I can certainly see that he's been freshened up. Good work in a minute and 2/5, and the horse should have better form than he's showing. Perhaps the freshening.
One zone accord, and those horses are a lot tougher than what you're facing here.
But I agree with the 6, Mr. Instigator. Of the 6 and 11, Hurry On Home, I got to stick with Mr. Instigator. Even though he did lose to Hurry On Home last time, Hurry On Home only had 5 other horses in the race. This time there's 11 horses in the race. Way more traffic for Hurry On Home. Mr. Instigator is going to be clear of traffic, going to be out there on the lead. I think he gets the money. I went 6, 11, and I put in the 8-horse Pow for third. Got a couple of prep runs going 3.5 furlongs. Really never had a chance in those races. He's not really a 3.5 furlong race, but he's back out at 6.5. I think he'll be more of a factor, I think, in the late going. He'll beat a lot of these horses anyway, and I think get in the Superfecta. So I went 6, 11, and 8 in the 5th race. On to the 6, got some $7,500 conditional claimers. Their numbers are 3 lifetime, going to go a mile and a 16th. I landed on the 7, Friar Tuck. I see a little bit of speed in here, not a ton of it, but at least this horse is dropping. He is a 3-year-old facing older, but that race against Stormy Bob and Royal Victor and Mazel Print last time I thought was very good. Those 3 horses are pretty solid. Probably be competitive for 20 grand or 17.5. Those 3 horses that beat them. So it's time to start winning races for these kind of horses, and it's not surprising to see him drop into a conditional race. So I like the 7, Friar Tuck. I put the 2 Little Brown Guy in for second. I liked his run on BC Cup Day and the BC Cup Marathon. He just didn't want to go a mile and 3/8, but he was right there for a mile and an 1/8. He was right up there with some pretty good horses, Super Steve and Roses for Ben. Roses for Ben hit the board the other day against allowance horses. So and Mr. Cooper, that was a tough race that he was in.
Certainly was.
He just got gassed the last 8th of the mile.
Nothing like that in here,
And Pedro sticks with him, and that's encouraging. Could have rode Dilwyn, but he sticks with Little Brown Guy. So I'm going to put him in for second. I put the 1, Tommy DeHorsey, in for third. Got set up pretty good last time. I know the horse won. I wasn't impressed with the way he won, but he didn't win the money. The time was okay, almost 1:18. It was 17 and 4. Missed the break, had no position, and just there was a 3-way speed duel, which is why he won the money. But stretch out might help him to get even better. So I went 7, 2, and 1.
I put the one you just mentioned, Tommy DeHorsey, on top for a lot of the reasons you just mentioned. He was, they thought a lot of him. He was always running much higher. Then they finally, as you mentioned, time of the year, you know, Fisher cut bait, let's start winning some races. They dropped him to 4 and on 2. He made no mistake that day. He makes the next logical move up to the 7,500 non-3, kind of his next condition. I think he fits pretty good in here. Friar Tuck, the horse you picked on top, as you mentioned, he is a 3-year-old running against older horses, but those 3-year-olds he ran against have been pretty salty. There's some of the probably tougher, grittier kind of 3-year-olds around here, Royal Victor and Stormy Bob, those types. So I think he fits in here. I got him second. And in the third, I put Dilwyn. He won this condition 2 back, came back, ran a good third behind Dictatorship and Vimana. I can see him definitely hitting the board again in here, so I put him in. So it's 1, 7, and 4 for me. And on to the nightcap.
No, we got 2.
Oh, sorry, the feature.
2 more. We got 8
sorry,
today.
2 more, 8 today. 3-year-olds for 15,000, where we're going to talk about some horses that Friar Tuck was talking about. Royal Victor, some of those.
Nice horses.
I ended up going to the 6th, Lord Henry. He just won this race. Beat Canucks Roar with Council. A lot of the same kind of guys that are back in here. He proved better than last time. Ran a hardy race, laid just off it, made a nice move, and won the money. The second spot, I put Royal Victor. a horse that's kind of been a bridesmaid this year. He just can't seem to win, but he's always running really tough, short or long. He's always near the pace and runs a really hardy race. I could even see him winning it. He's Amadeo Perez sticks with him. They're really close. You know, he's just really on the cusp of almost getting one of these. So I have him in second. And in the third race, I have With Counsel, one that won a 3-year-old that beat Royal Victor 2 back for 12.5. Come back and just got beat a neck in that Lord Henry race. He's a very useful little horse by Laurie Ron out of the Hot Condolino's part. I have him in third, so it's 6, 8, and 7 for me.
Yeah, I got the same 3 horses, except I'm going to put With Counsel on top. I had a month in between, 5 weeks in between runs last time. I think he kind of got held up on the final turn, was closing up on the inside, was following Canucks Roar, and kind of just got held up in behind horses and angled in between and couldn't quite win it. I think there's some extra pace ingredients here with the 3 Oscar Award and the 4 Swiss Game. So it looks like the front end's going to be pretty crowded, and even more, you know, I think the camp of With Counsel will be licking their chops when they see the opening quarter and a half. This should be to their advantage. So I like With Counsel to win it. I put Royal Victor. I think he's the best horse in the race, but I'm not too sure if he's going to get the best trip. I put him in for second, and Lord Henry, of course, winner at the same condition last time with a perfect trip and a perfect ride by Enrique Gonzalez last time. So I went 7, 8, and 6. On to the 8th and final, $3,000 mares going a mile and a 16th. I think the contention is on definitely on the inside of the gate with the 1, 2, and 3. I've gone to Scopa to win it. Big class drop, 12.5 down here for the 3. Wasn't disgraced in that Lasting Spice Delta Bouquet race either. So I gotta think the class. You know, class relief is what she needs, and she's going to be awfully tough. Hopefully she can stay close to the pace because there's not a lot of speed in here. Mahadi Joe's probably going to go, and after that it's kind of, not too sure. Diva Ballerina maybe, but if Scopa lays third, I don't think she'll get beat, and I like her to win it. I put Rainbows in the Wood in for second, and I put the 3 Bespoke in for third. Those are the 3 horses in form right now, and those are the 3 I like.
I went with Scopa again on top. I think it's just too much for her. It's too big a drop. You know, from 12.5 to she was really tough this year earlier for 7,500 and that. She got a little higher somewhere along the way. Now she drops right down to 3,000. Too big a drop. The second spot, I'm going to put McGuire's Bridge, the 6 horse. She's run some pretty tough races this year. She was running the 7,500 kind of level. Last time she just didn't fire. Not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to toss out that race. She switches to Fernando Perez. I think she can be in the mixer. She is going to need some pace to run it, as you mentioned, though. She needs something to run it, as Scopa does, too. But I think, as you mentioned, there should be enough. They don't need a ton, but there should be enough pace in here to run it. And in the third spot, I put Diva Ballerina. Gets Richard Hamill back aboard her. They've had some success in the past. She's a pretty tough mare. She's always knocking on the door, and I think she fits for 3,000. So 1, 6, and 8 for me.
Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Wednesday, August 29th program at Hastings. Once again, early post 3:20. Here's a look at our selections. I'll just give you a brief little recap of our picks for tonight's card. Back in race number 1, I went to the 4 Snowbird Pass. I went 4, 8, and 6. In race number 2, I went to the 8 Perfect Hostess. 8, 2, and 6. In the third race, I went to number 1 Now Act. Probably the best bet of the day, Now Act. I went 1, 6, and 8. In the fourth race, I went to the 5 Star Whacker. 5, 9, and 2. In the fifth race, I went to the fifth race, number 6, Mr. Instigator, over the 11 and 8. In the sixth race, I went to the 7, Friar Tuck, 7, 2, and 1. Race number 7, I went to the 7, With Counsel, 7, 8, and 6. And in the finale, hopefully it is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Had to go to the 1, Scopa.
And on to my picks, there we go. In the first race, I went with the 2, Thimble, over the 3 and 6. In the second race, I went with the 9, Remarkably Free, over the 3 and 7. In the third race, I agree with Mike. The 1, Now Act, looks very tough. I went 1, 6, and 8. In the fourth race, I went with the 5, Star Whacker, over the 2 and 1. In the fifth, number 6, Mr. Instigator, over the 11 and 1. In the sixth race, I went to the 1, Tommy DeHorsey, over the 7 and 4. In the seventh, the feature, I went to the 6, Lord Henry, over the 8 and 7. And in the nightcap, again, I agree with Mike, the short price, number 1, Scopa, over the 6 and the 8.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to this edition of Handicappers Corner. We wish you lots of luck on tonight's program. Hopefully you make some money on the 8-race program tonight. Racing resumes Friday, August the 31st. We'd have 8 more races, the final 3:20 post of the season. Then, of course, we race on the holiday Monday. Labor Day should be a great day on Labor Day, the closing of the P&E Fair. On behalf of Drew, I've been Mike. Once again, thanks for joining us here on Handicappers Corner, and we'll see you next time.
Do this here in the Telegraph.
Football Rivera bite. I hear his foot's all right. Of course, it all depends if he read last night.
I know it's bad.